Hello everybody. In this video, based on your requests, I'm doing a roundup of some of these embassies, who's getting interviews, what's happening in different embassies. Some of these embassies I have not covered before, and hopefully you'll find them beneficial. So we'll talk about who's getting interviews, which documentary qualified cases are being assigned, and what is the actual status of these embassies. Remember, this video is current for today, for this week. Things change, but at least it gives you an idea of what's happening. So what are you waiting for? I'll see you on the other side. Hello everybody, and welcome back to our immigration channel. This is where we talk about immigration news, immigration updates, and everything else that you need to make your immigration journey less stressful. My name is Jacob Sapochnick, and I'm an immigration attorney based in San Diego, California, and I help clients in all 50 states and all around the world. And in this video, we're going to focus on the status of embassies and consulates worldwide based on the information that is available to us today, this week. Things change on a regular basis, but it is important to see almost like a snapshot as to what's happening over there, so you'll be able to kind of plan, understand where you're at your process, and also know exactly what to expect. I'm making this video based on your requests, so if you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, our live streams, and any of our updates. And also give us a big like so YouTube will be able to share this video with more people just like you. So before we talk about embassies and consulates worldwide, as you remember in previous videos, I mentioned that most embassies and consulates worldwide are still not working on a regular capacity. In fact, the State Department implemented a 4-tier system where this is how they prioritize visas and this is how they interview applicants at the moment. One of my recent updates, I also mentioned that while they have this 4-tier system, many embassies will interview applicants in all 4 tiers categories at the same month. So for example, if applicants are eligible to get their interviews on Tier 1, adopted children, or Tier 2, immediate relatives, IR1, CR1, if they have enough availability, if they have enough staff, they're also going to interview people from Tier 4, employment-based categories, which are waiting for the interviews. Some embassies will do that at the same time. This is a new update that we know from a recent State Department information release that they gave to the public. So that's good for you to know as well. And also, they continue to process expedited requests for people that meet the national interest exceptions. But the most recent update that they announced is that they will be prioritizing people that are healthcare workers, people that are working, assisting the efforts of COVID-19, people that are coming to work in healthcare facilities. Those applicants are going to get the highest priority right now for expedite and their emergency appointments. This is a recent update that was released less than a week ago. So again, the bottom line behind this is that while they're not working full capacity, they will be processing expedited through the MVC expedite email processing like they used to do before. So again, this just tells you that expedite processing is not dead. It is up and running. If you qualify, they'll do it, and they'll continue to update as to which applicants will be qualified for the expedite processing. So let's jump into our embassy review roster, and we'll start in an alphabetical order with the U.S. Embassy in Macedonia, Albania. This particular embassy is working, unfortunately, on a limited basis only, which means that they see very few visa appointments right now. This embassy is actually working in a very limited capacity due to staffing limitations as well. They are processing IR1 cases and CR1 cases that have documentary qualified dates of June of 2020, and they are working on F2As that are currently documentary qualified from January of 2021. Now, with respect to F4 categories, that information that we have is they're still stuck at November 2019. And again, because this embassy is working in such limited capacity, it's very difficult for MVC to send them files because the embassy has such limited slots. Once again, once we have more information about this particular embassy, we will post you as well. Moving next to the embassy in Yerevan, Armenia. So this embassy is working on the regular capacity. They're not reporting any delays or limitations. They are processing IR1 and CR1 cases, documentary qualified August 2020. They're processing F2A cases that are documentary qualified in January 2020. And F4 categories, siblings, is still stuck in November of 2019. Some report even cases being processed for F4 categories for October of 2019. Once again, this embassy is in a good position. They're working on a pretty much regular capacity. They're also processing F1 visas as well. Moving on, U.S. Embassy Nassau, Bahamas. This embassy is working on the regular capacity as far as we know and being reported. They are processing IR1, CR1 cases that are documented qualified from September of 2020. They're processing F2A cases that are documented qualified from January of 2020 as well. And they are processing F4 cases just like the other embassies from November of 2019. Now what that means is that this embassy, remember those embassies are smaller embassies, so they do have a little bit more capacity to come back to somewhat normal processing. They are processing student visas and J1 applications as well. But remember, those embassies compared to some of the big ones are in a position where they are able to reopen if country conditions permit, and it seems like in those countries it is possible for them to reopen. Moving on to the U.S. Embassy in Dhaka, Bangladesh. This embassy is working on a limited capacity only. In fact, they were not doing any interviews for the past month or so as far as we know. Right now they are working on a limited capacity. They are processing expedited requests as well. When you're talking about IR1, CR1 cases, they're going back to cases that are documentary qualified in May 2020. I don't have information for F2A or F4, but again, this is a very limited capacity embassy. We do know that F1 students who are coming from this country are able to get appointments if they can show the embassy that they have a valid I-20 and they're about to start school in the next semester. So this is Bangladesh, Dhaka. Moving on to the U.S. Embassy in Bridgetown, Barbados. The U.S. Embassy is offering limited visa processing only. They're processing K1 visas right now in a limited capacity. IR1, CR1 cases that are documentary qualified in June of 2020 are getting interviews. Again, it's a limited capacity embassy right now. And like other embassies, they are prioritizing expedited cases, the ones that have been approved. Specifically for K1s, we've seen an increase in expedited approvals in this particular embassy. K1s that are being stuck and not being able to get interviews are being processed at this embassy. So if you come from Barbados, this embassy is one of those embassies that will consider an expedite for K1 once MVC will authorize it. And hopefully we'll be able to get some more information once we know more. But again, this is a limited capacity embassy. Next, we're moving to the U.S. Embassy in Brazil, Rio. This embassy suspended routine visa processing for a while now. They are processing F1 visas at the moment. If students can have a valid I-20 and can prove that they're starting their course of study in the next semester. With respect to immigrant visas, again, it's working on a very limited capacity. K1 visas are being very, very slow at this embassy. And recently, even expedited cases are taking too long, over 2 months to be able to get any results from MVC to be able to schedule those emergency appointments. IR1, CR1 cases that are documentary qualified August 2020 are being interviewed right now. We have information for F4 categories, siblings are being interviewed. Those that are documentary qualified in November of 2019. So once again, it's one of those problematic embassies because country conditions are quite tough over there. Consular officers are pretty concerned about the COVID-19 situation in Brazil. The travel ban, some consular officers are still limiting visa issuance, which is not really in accordance with the law. So we'll keep you posted with Brazil, but for the moment, very limited visa processing. If you have a case in Brazil, I definitely encourage you to try to expedite your case if you qualify, because they will definitely try to prioritize those cases once you get an expedited approval. Next embassy is Yaoundé in Cameroon. We have a lot of questions from people from Cameroon. Once again, Cameroon is working on a limited capacity. It's processing K1 visas right now. They are actually pretty good with K1 visas. We've seen an increase. IR1, CR1 cases that have been documentary qualified in August 2020 are getting interviews right now. Still, expedited cases will get priority at this embassy. With respect to F4 for Cameroon, they're processing right now in November 2019. Once again, it's a limited capacity embassy, and if you have a case that is stuck at MVC pending an interview, you definitely should try to expedite, because they will, once the expedite is approved, this embassy will give you an emergency appointment very, very fast. Next, we move to the U.S. Embassy in Montreal, Canada. U.S. Embassy in Montreal is almost working on a full capacity. Really working as normal yet, but they're definitely working beyond limited scope. Really working as normal yet, but they're definitely working beyond limited scope. They are processing K1 visas, IR1, CR1s. They are documentary qualified, September 2020, are getting interviews right now. And we definitely see an increase in expedite approvals that are coming towards this embassy as they are trying to make their process a bit more efficient. F1 visas are still getting delayed in this embassy for whatever reason, and virtually no tourist visas appointments are possible at the U.S. Embassy in Montreal for third country nationals. In any U.S. Embassy or consulates in Canada, specifically for people that are looking to apply for e-visas in Toronto and Vancouver, it's very difficult right now to get appointments for third country nationals. We are still trying to get them for our clients. We are waiting to get information. Once we do, I'll update you. But right now, with regular family processing, IR1, CR1 visas, it's going pretty smooth. And we hope that MVC is going to be able to send even more cases to this post once they open more slots to be able to receive cases from the MVC. As I mentioned before, the reason why some of these visas are being delayed is because MVC is not able to ship them to the US embassies because they're not opening enough slots. The embassy in Montreal is contacting MVC specifically 30 days before they're able to open specific slots for IR1, CR1, or any other family visas. Therefore, MVC is able to send those cases faster once they know that availability is open at that particular post. Once again, once I know more about this post, I'll promise to make another video to keep you updated. Next, the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia. Bogota, Colombia, once again, works on a limited capacity, unfortunately. They're processing K1 visas very slowly. We have a lot of clients that are stuck waiting for these K1 visas to be processed from Bogota, but they are very, very slow. Once again, keep pushing the embassy. If you qualify for an expedite, I definitely recommend to do that, specifically for the K1s. On the IR1, CR1s, they are processing applications documentary qualified August 2020. So if one of those, try to follow up with them as well. And F4 applications categories at Bogota are going back to October of 2019 for current applicants to go through this embassy. This is an embassy that is working on a very limited capacity just because of country conditions and the way this embassy is set up. So hopefully as things improve in the country COVID-wise, we're going to see some more action coming from this embassy. But for the moment, it's a very, very limited capacity, and expedite applications do work. Specifically for, like I said, with the new change with healthcare workers, there's quite a few people that are kind of related to this industry. And if you try to use that angle, most likely they will be able to expedite your case as well. So this is it for this round of embassies. We have a long list of embassies that we're going to do. We'll make another video coming out very soon to cover the following embassies in our list. If you enjoyed this information and you find it useful, let me know in the comments below. If you want to hear about your particular embassy, let me know also in the comments. We have more embassies coming up in a future video, which I'll make this in another part. If you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell so it will allow you to not miss any of our videos. And also, if you need help with your case, if you need to expedite, if you need to help you get unstuck from your file, make sure you send us a text, 619-483-4549. We'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. We're doing our best. Thank you so for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.